I'm 55 with $2 million saved. When can I retire? Someone asked me this question recently, and while it seems like a simple one, the answer depends on way more than just the number in your account. I've worked with lots of Canadians retiring on portfolios between 1 and 5 million, and I've seen how easy it is to get this wrong, even with what seems like plenty saved. So in this video, I'll walk you through how to figure out if your 2 million is actually enough, what to consider before pulling money out, and the one decision around CPP and OAS timing that could save your entire retirement plan. The first thing you need to ask yourself isn't, do I have enough? It's, what does retirement actually mean to me? See, most people think of retirement like an on and off switch. Either you're working full-time or you're not working at all. But there is a gray area in between that is worth exploring. Part-time work, consulting, seasonal gigs, these are all things that can stretch your plan further without having to sacrifice your lifestyle. And speaking of lifestyle, that's the other piece that people often skip. But it's so important to consider your own situation and what's important to you in retirement. Someone who's mortgage-free and happy with $6,000 per month is in a very different situation than someone else who wants $12,000 per month to travel, help their kids, and enjoy more expensive hobbies. It's the same $2 million, but they're going to have drastically different outcomes. So before anything, get clear on what retirement actually looks like for you. Not what your neighbor's doing and not what a calculator tells you. Your lifestyle is going to drive your spending, and that spending is going to determine how long your money actually lasts. But if you're wondering whether 2 million is really enough, grab our free guide, 20 retirement tips to help you stretch your savings, lower your taxes, and avoid common mistakes. Link is in the description. Now here's something I see all the time. People who've run a few averages, put their information into a calculator, and are confident that their plan will work out. But relying on averages can give you a false sense of security. Average returns, average inflation, average life expectancy, it all looks tidy on a spreadsheet. But real retirement isn't average. Life happens and it's unpredictable. And like it or not, there will be curveballs that you didn't plan for. What if the market drops 15% in your first 2 years of retirement? What if inflation runs hot for a decade? Or what if you live longer than expected? That's why you don't just want a plan that looks good under ideal conditions. You want a plan that holds up in bad years too. So run scenarios and stress test your numbers, and you also want to make sure you know what to do when things don't go according to plan, because they rarely do. Now let's talk about how you actually take money out. A big mistake I see people making is waiting to take out their RSPs last because it defers the taxes on those eventual withdrawals. What they don't realize is that doing this without a plan can push them into higher tax brackets in the future and can potentially lead them into a situation where their old age security gets clawed back. The order in which you withdraw from your accounts really matter. Starting RSP withdrawals early, especially in low income years, can significantly reduce the amount of taxes you pay throughout your retirement. And you can still use your TFSAs for tax-free top-ups, and then when you layer in CPP and OAS, the whole thing becomes a delicate balancing act. So don't leave this to chance. Create a coordinated withdrawal strategy that factors in taxes, government benefits, and how each account fits into the bigger picture. And that leads us to timing CPP and OAS, another decision that can make or break your retirement from a tax perspective. The default thinking is, well, I'm 60, so I may as well take it. But taking it earlier isn't always better. Delaying CPP or OAS increases your guaranteed income for life, which reduces the pressure on your portfolio, especially in bad years. Now, this only works if you have other income sources to bridge the gap in the meantime. That's why planning ahead is so important. You need to model out different scenarios, understand the break-even points, and decide what gives you the most peace of mind and financial security. Of course, none of this works without a solid investment strategy behind it. People tend to go to one of two extremes in retirement. They get overly aggressive chasing returns, or they become too conservative and miss out on the growth that they actually need. The truth is, your investments need to last another 30 years. So you need some growth to keep up with inflation, but you also need some stability because you're going to be making withdrawals out of the portfolio. And remember, retirement spending isn't flat. Most people tend to spend more at the beginning of retirement in their go-go years, and it tapers off after that. If you want help with this, or you're unsure how to time CPP, manage your withdrawals, or balance your overall investments, then we offer free retirement planning calls. You can book a time that works for you in the description below to have a chat with our team. So can you retire now? Well, there isn't a one-size-fits-all answer, but there is a framework. Are your withdrawals sustainable over 30 plus years? Is your plan coordinated across tax brackets, account types, and government benefits? And have you built in buffers for the unknown, like health changes, family needs, or a few bad market years? This is where real retirement planning, not just a portfolio snapshot, makes all the difference. The earlier that you start planning, the more flexibility and confidence you'll have. So if you're thinking of retiring soon, like in the next year, there's some definite steps that you should be taking. So watch this next video where I go over the 4 things that I'd be doing if I was retiring in 2025.